Good morning. Alright, so today's topic is water and what kind of water I drink. When I'm in an ideal situation, what I do is I go for distilled water. Now, with distilled water, I always avoid it when it's bottled, so I never buy it at the store. Reason being is I've never found it under glass before, and the fact that it's sitting in a plastic bottle, that doesn't really entice me too much. I don't care if it is BPA free. It's probably not the best. The distilled water tends to be more on the aggressive side, so it does have the ability to leach the plastic out of the bottle better than a spring water would. So if you were buying some sort of bottled water and it had to be in plastic, definitely avoid the distilled water. But what I do is I use a distiller. So this is a 1 gallon guy. It's made by Mega Home. I have no affiliation with the company or any other company for that matter, so I'm not trying to sell you something, but this is what I've used over the years. I've had 2 of them. One of them I filled up one day and I was walking over to where I put it and it slipped right out of my hands, but the thing got all smashed up, but it still works. Hasn't burned my house down yet. So what I do is I use that, and the reason for the distilled water is it makes the water as neutral as possible. So it gets out all the toxins. With tap water, you have fluoride in it. That's not good for you. The fact that it's put in there for your teeth, supposedly, I think is a load of bullshit. Then you have chlorine. Chlorine, as well as the fluoride too. It's going to be horrible on your gut flora. So your gut flora is what helps your digestion process. So you want to avoid that stuff as much as possible. And after I'm done running the distiller, there's always residue in the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but it's some real thick stuff, and it's really, I mean, if I put it on my fingers and rub it like that, it's very, very oily, so I'm not really sure what that is. I mean, I've used this distiller at a few different locations, and most of the time, only thing that's come out is, you know, you'll see a bunch of like iron filings or something like that on the bottom, but with, I don't know, tap water, we use so many chemicals, we flush so much stuff down the toilet, you know, pharmaceuticals, things of that nature. It gets into our water, and the water treatment plants, they can do a halfway decent job at getting things out, but there's a lot of stuff that doesn't come out, like birth control pills. So it's probably not good to be ingesting that if you're a woman. It's probably horrible to be ingesting that if you're a guy. So, alright, but in times that I don't feel like drinking the tap water, I don't have access to my distilled water, I will drink bottled water if it's under glass. I don't really like to buy water because just the concept of spending money on water seems a bit ludicrous, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I always go for, if I can find this brand, I go for that first. It's out of, I believe it's out of Arkansas. So I live in the United States, so that's not horribly far. But it's also, I mean, it claims to be pH balanced, so to 7.8. That's sort of kind of high. Our blood maintains a level of about 7.2 to 7.3, depending upon who you talk to. So that's all in all pretty good. It tastes good. With pH balanced waters, you don't want to go any higher than that. There are bottled waters out there that are up in the 8s and the 9s, and there's a slight possibility that you could throw your body into alkalosis if you drank enough of that. So I don't know, I would just avoid that, and add to the fact I believe that all of those come in plastic bottles, so let's try to avoid that too. Lastly, if I can, I mean, if this is the only brand under glass, I'll buy that guy too. I mean, this, unfortunately, it comes from all the way over in Europe, so that's quite a hike. That's a lot of fossil fuels being used to bring water over, and add to the fact that it's imported by the Nestle company, so they're not the best of folks. So, I don't know, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, so that's what I do. And you know, the whole purpose in any of the stuff that I'm showing you with these videos, just the things that I do throughout my daily life and to kind of enhance my health, make me feel good, that's the purpose of it. A lot of times when it comes to working on your health, people are too often, they're driven by fear. Everything is done as a motive out of fear. I want to do this so I don't get sick. I don't want to get cancer, and I don't want to get, you know, heart disease, diabetes, and those are all good, but, you know, and I used to think like that. So I understand. But you always, in anything in life, you want to do your best to come at it from, you know, a loving standpoint and not out of fear. And an example of that is the reason that I eat raw is because I want to feel good and because I do feel good. Not because I want to live to be 120, or not because I worry about, you know, getting all these diseases, because honestly I'm one of the least paranoid people that I know. And I mean, heck, you could do everything just dandy and perfect, and then you walk out on the street and you get hit by a bus. So, I don't know. I just try to live moment to moment and do the best I can in every single situation. So, when you are working on your well-being, really pay attention to that. Ask yourself, am I doing this out of love, or am I doing this out of fear? Am I doing it out of paranoia? And when you do find that you are doing things out of fear, that's okay. But acknowledge it and try to come at it from a different standpoint. And it's in doing that that's one of the best things that I've done for myself, is just being able to truly drop the paranoia. And it does take time. You can't just say to yourself, okay, I'm not going to be scared anymore. Because that's not going to happen. So you got to work at it. Working at it can mean, you know, it can be done through meditation. I meditate every day. Find it very beneficial. But a lot of my moments of truly getting an understanding on things has been through constructive thinking. So I know that in working in oneself, that thinking can get most of us in trouble, but I have found that by analyzing myself and asking myself, you know, honest questions and being able to call myself out on my bullshit, that is how I grow. I live every moment always asking myself those things, and once again, not out of paranoia. It's just something that I do at this point, and it has helped me out a lot. So, anyways, it's enough of a tirade for today. Anyways, take it easy, subscribe, comment, do whatever you'd like. Most of all, have fun.